This is a butternut squash bisque. So essentially it's pureed butternut squash, a little bit of vegetable broth, cream, a lot of spice.
Yay! Hello, chef.
How you doing?
Do you have a chef name?
Yeah.
No? Do I need a chef name?
Yes.
It can't be my actual name?
No.
I didn't know I was a rapper now, damn.
Was there an inspiration behind?
Oh, so the theme for this was like land and sea. So to start, you have something from the earth, the butternut squash, and then now we're moving to the sea. So we have these seared scallops with a pineapple relish. It's all very simple, flavor flat.
He asked me if I'm gonna eat it because we don't eat scallops, but I'm a heathen now, so.
You can be a heathen too. You know, you're only in Chicago for so long.
You can try one. There's no judgment here.
Here we have a braised short rib on a bed of mashed potatoes. Excuse me, palm puree and multicolored carrots. This has been roasting for 3-ish hours or so. Yeah, should be pretty tender. Should fall right off the bone. It's gonna be fire.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's be.
Welcome back to Jaida TV. Thank you all for your constant support, liking, sharing, subscribing these videos that I've been doing on my channel. Today we're going to talk about friendship. So after we had our wholesome little dinner hosted by Tahnee, we were able to sit down and just discuss friendship. So what that looks like, how that feels, what this entails. So basically a conversation that was honest and open. We were able to be vulnerable, listen to each other, and just be supportive. So I hope you all enjoy.
So the question I got is, why are friendships important to you? I would say that I see friendship as an opportunity. I think it has a lot of benefits. I think it's an opportunity to create your community. I think a lot of people are used to being born or inheriting a community, whether that's familial, whether it's geographical, cultural, and staying there and being complacent and building your identity and what was given to you. And I think friendship is an opportunity to sort of create yourself and create a world for yourself that you have autonomy over. So friendships teach you a lot about yourself. They give you the opportunity to test how you want to manage relationships, experiences alongside people you care about. I think it's also a really great opportunity to reflect on yourself, and a lot of times I think if you have a good friendship, it's one that makes you inquisitive internally and just question the world around you. So that's it.
I love what you said. It made me think of the fact you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And that says a lot about you.
Yeah, friendship is a choice. It's a reflection of yourself in a way. It's because you can't choose your family you're born with, but you can choose to engage with this person or not to engage with this person. At the end of the day, it's it's an expression of life for poetic now. What do you do when you have a misunderstanding with your friend? I mean, what I should do, or what do I actually do? Well, answer how you want.
Yeah.
What I should do is just clearly communicate my feelings. Usually, it's if you have it depends on the type of misunderstanding, quite honestly. Normally, I would just be I'm a pretty sort of introspective person, so it's okay, let me, am I tripping? That's the first thing I'm always evaluating is am I the one who's tripping about this, or is this a do we just have a miscommunication versus like we don't see eye to eye on something? For me, it's like get to the root of what the misunderstanding is with or without that person. I feel like you should have it with that person, just having like clear lines of communication. But I'm not very good at that, so yeah. What do I do when I have a misunderstanding? I'm quiet, and then we talk about it. Once I keep it safe.
When I have a misunderstanding with a friend, I get quiet. Like, I want to think about it myself first. Like, I don't want to be like, yo ass bogus as hell. Like, I got to think about it, like, for some days, maybe a week or two. I don't like to just respond. Some people, like, respond to me now. I'm just like, let me think. Like, let me see my role in it. Let me see their role in it. And then we could go from there. But I don't like feeling pressured.
Because words have impact. I mean, that's our conversation we just had. Like, words have impact. So, you know, you may not remember what you said with somebody, like that other friend might. So.
Yeah.
And I think like an important part of like managing confrontation is like knowing how the other person manages it. Because like for me, like I'm a person who it takes me 5 seconds to completely think through how I feel, analyze how I think you feel, and like communicate it in a way that I think is considerate of your feelings while still like communicating honestly about how I feel. And it's like, so for me, I am that friend who's like, okay, we just fought. 10 minutes later, I'm like, all right, let's talk. Like, what was happening? Like, how do you feel? Like, obviously, there's an issue that's separate from us as people. Like, I'm not trying to like attack you. I'm trying to attack this issue that we have that's separate from our relationship. But then I have friends who are like, I need a couple days. And it's so weird for me because then I interpret it as neglection. Like, I'm like, you're neglecting this issue. Like, you're like, I wanna address it now. Like, I'm the kind of person who's like, I don't want to go to sleep on it. Like, I'm like, if there's an issue, we're gonna talk about it, you know? So, like, I have a hard time, like, being understanding. Like, I can, like, be good at, like, being understanding when we're, like, communicating, but when it comes to, like, being patient so that I can know how best to communicate through your language, that's where I have a hard time doing that.
No, I was gonna say I have a hasty tongue. Like I'm gonna say some shit I definitely did not mean.
Yeah.
So that's why I've like learned. Yeah, exactly. That's why I've like almost learned the behavior of like, okay, take a second. Like it might not take me 2 weeks, but it definitely doesn't take me 5 seconds. Like it's somewhere in between that, and it's like, I mean, most of the time I usually just come to the conclusion of like, oh, I'm tripping or she's tripping or you know whatever. I was gonna say, do you have the energy to actually work through a misunderstanding with somebody?
Yeah, I think it depends on the level of friendship.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes time for like if it's a real close relationship, even if you don't have the energy, eventually those feelings are gonna dull enough where you're gonna be able to confront it without expending as much energy as confronting it the same day.
No, I was gonna say that like for example, like right now I'm going through like an ending friendship that was like long lasting, very close to me, and it's like I usually am the person who does overexpend energy right now. Like that's just not something I can afford.
That's what I was saying. Like I always overdo my part, so I'm not doing it no more.
And I think that's where it's so important to have like an established certain type of relationship before conflict occurs, because for friends where I do have misunderstandings at a time like this when I feel like they know what I'm going through, like they will be the ones to reach out, even if that's not typically how our relationship is. They know, okay, like at the end of the day, this is a misunderstanding, but that in its isolated form, you're going through shit and like you just still need the support system, and this is like a source of stress for you. So like even though it's outside of my character, like I would go out of my way to try to be the forgiving person, to be the bigger person, even though our typical dynamic is for you to be that person. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, like, I feel like
maturity is there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the maturity. Like, you have to have people who are willing to like know you and like not only you as a person, but like circumstantially. Like we change so much, and you need to have friends who can like understand those changes and work with those changes in a way that's like still healthy and like conducive towards a good relationship. Anyways, yeah, you want to take a question?
Oh, actually, I was gonna say that I was gonna say that it takes just like the same amount of effort or even more just to realize the type of people who are toxic to you, or like just to cut them off, because it's easy to stop being friends with someone and then end up being friends with them again just over a quick event, but then still know in the back of your mind that they're gonna be toxic for you in your future. So it's still an accomplishment to cut people off, because in the end you benefit yourself. How important is forgiveness in human relationships?
Did you make these questions?
Google. Some of those are Google.
I think forgiveness is important, but I think forgiveness is important, and I feel like everyone should be forgiven at a point, but I feel like for some people there should be a certain amount of time before you forgive them, because if you constantly forgive people who wrong you, then they're gonna constantly they're gonna constantly know that you're gonna give them a second chance just for them to ruin you again. So I'd say that forgiveness isn't something that, it is definitely important, but it's not something you should be handing out. That some people just need time to think about their actions before they're forgiven.
So forgiveness in this case, it means working through the fact that it's no longer a passive understanding of the dynamic has changed. It's now an understanding of I don't like the person that you've become. And so how does that reflect in my forgiveness? And I'm still this is current, fresh for me. So I still don't know what that forgiveness should look like. Do I respond to her text message and be like, I forgive you? Because I don't. And that's the truth. And maybe my healing process is eventually getting to that point where I can be like, I'm okay with you saying that.
But forgiveness at the end of the day is an option. It's not the catch-all, end all.
Yeah. I had to learn a lesson in forgiveness that I carry with me to this day, and that's forgiveness is for yourself. Because before I was doing forgiveness I'm doing you a favor because I forgive you. But then I was in a situation where I was talking to this guy my first year, and we ended horribly, and we just cut off contact. I blocked him on most socials, but he still my number. So I was waiting for him to be okay, when are you gonna hit me up and we can acknowledge this? I never got that closure, and it was killing me because you want closure. And then I was I have to forgive him for myself so I can move on with my life, because I don't want him to have this. He doesn't deserve this weight in my life. So I'm gonna forgive him for myself and move on. And forgiving doesn't mean I have to talk to him. Forgiving doesn't mean he has to know I forgave him. It's purely for myself and my own sanity.
I think I'm just so big on communicating and being super everyone needs to know.
Forgiveness hurts. You don't have to yet. If there's a point where you find that there's a little solace in just thinking this forgiveness will just be for me, then that's the point that you forgive. Whether that's verbally, whether that's directed toward them, or whether that's just within you.
They say, did you have a best friend growing up? Do you have a best friend now? I did have a best friend growing up. I would say that was my cousin and also a girl. Oh. I had a child best friend since 3rd grade, but she moved away in high school, so it fucked shit up.
Do you tell your friends you love them? I personally just had a problem with saying love for a long time, so I don't know if I really do, because it was kind of hard for me to even say to my parents I love them. It just felt weird, because it was yeah, I love you, why we gotta talk about it? So I don't know, I don't know. Do y'all?
No. It depends on the friend. Some friends be oh my god, I love you so much. And we can be soft with each other or that, but some friends, don't say it.
Any less of a love if you don't verbalize it?
Yes.
I need to hear please. Talk to me.
Love language.
Yes, it goes with your love language. If you don't tell me you love me, I'm gonna think you don't love me. You could be doing anything in the world for me, but if you don't say it, don't love me.
So
So,
I ever told you I love you.
oh, I love you too. But like, if you don't say it to me, that's just my love language. I'm not gonna believe nothing. Your actions, like people be like actions speak louder, but I need to hear it as well.
That's true. I definitely like actively say I love you to my friends. Like my brother, my sister, like whoever I'm on the phone with. Like if I love you, like I'm not gonna hang up the phone without saying that. Like, and I don't think I was always like that. But I just think there's so much value in it. And as I said before, I have a lot of guy friends, and they just don't hear that. Honestly, they really don't hear that. I'm having these moments a lot lately, like with my guy friends, where I'm just like, I want you to know that I love you. And it's just so weird for them. They just get so squirmish. You tell your girlfriends you love them?
Ooh.
Why? Love you, bro.
I hated saying the word love, and Priscilla's the one who like she'll call me, but like, oh, I love you, and I was like, and then she'll like say it back, and I'll be like, and then like now I don't have a problem because she like got me saying it, but I'm not gonna, if we're close, like my cousin, like we're still close now, I'm not gonna say it to him because that's just weird.
Why?
But that's fair, because I feel like I never used to say like I love you to like my brothers, but now it's like whenever we're on the phone or something like that, so it's like of course, love you, bro, bye. You know, like that's just like the natural ending to things. But I think that came more so with like maturity, and it's like we never really heard I love you like in the household, so it was like why the fuck would I tell you that? Like you know, it's just like it just didn't make sense. So.
That's kind of like not noticing what you have till it's gone. Until like you have like the distance between your family, and then you realize how much you're actually missing.
Yeah, like I didn't realize other people said that like just so freely until like I got older. I was just like, oh, I mean, okay, I love you too, all right. Like it didn't bother me to say it at all. It was just like, I mean, it's not normal to me.
I feel like for me, I be saying I hate you
Yeah.
so often.
Yeah, when
No,
I
but
say
I
I hate you, that actually means
yeah, and for me, it's like, oh my God, I hate you. And then I'm like trying to say like, you know, like I really enjoy our time. It's so much easier for me to say I hate you than to say that word, you know.
Yeah, that's very
Why
true.
though? In general, not just for you, but like why?
Because I've seen a lot of hate expressed in my life very freely and verbally.
Yeah.
It might just be that I haven't, like, you know, I might not have seen that example of, oh, I love you in my household and in my life, so it's not easy to see it as a natural thing. I only seen it in like movies at the end when the man's like, I love you, and you know,
That's the thing. Like, when we say love, it's just like we understand it generally as English-speaking people in such a one-dimensional way.
Yes.
And
That's
like,
really
I think that's why I have just like, I don't know when that switching point was, but I just was like, I need to actively like project love to people who it's not romantic. Like, I don't need to like have a romantic relationship with you for me to actively and comfortably say that to you, because you're someone of value. I want you to know that you are of value in my life. Like, you have someone who loves you, period, regardless of what's going on in your life. I think, to your point, I grew up in a house where I wasn't used to that. And I heard my dad say it for the first time when I went to college over the phone. And I remember being like, are you talking to me?
No, I'm so sorry.
I was like, are you talking to me? I thought he was like, someone else was like over the phone or something. So I identify very strongly with that. I just don't want anyone in my life who's impacted my life in any way not to know that. Like, no matter what, like, you should know that, okay, there's something else for sure. For sure. So I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yeah, I love you. I love you.
We love you too.
We love you?
Move. What we just talked about.
Say the word.
Say it.
Say the
Say
word.
it.
If you mean it.
yeah, I love y'all.
You love us.
No, she don't.
You hear her
Jaida?
those words out.
I said it with everyone else.
What? Did you?
I know she did it. Because she's been silent this whole time.
Do you tell your friends everything?
Why?
Well, it depends on the friends. And I used to do this thing. This is really bad. I've kind of learned how to undo it, but now I'm dealing with a different set of friendship things. But like, what I used to do was divide up certain parts of myself so that people only knew one part. Like, someone would know all about my love life. Someone would know everything that's going on academically. Some people would know everything about my family. But like, it was no one ever knew everything because I didn't want anyone to ever know everything.
I think everybody do that. Yeah.
But I feel like the intention is different with people, because I feel like I compartmentalize what I tell people, because I'm like, I have what I consider a lot of emotional burden. I don't want to put it all on one person. So if it's something about this, I already know who I told about this. I'm going to talk to them about this. Whereas like, I would have to explain everything to this person, and they already know about something else. If I have issues with that, I'll go to them. But if you're compartmentalizing because you're like, I want to open up and be vulnerable, not saying you're doing that, or you were doing that. But if that's what you're doing, it's more of a defense mechanism than it is like a consideration for the friendships and the qualities within your interactions with them.
What type of friend are you? What type of friend do you need?
No, what do you think?
The reason why I didn't like this question is because I think I realized recently that I think I put a lot of effort into thinking about romantic relationships and like what type of partner am I, what's the love language and stuff like that. And then what type of friend do you need? I also don't like, so I realized I'm not the best with like reaching out first. It doesn't have to be that way. I could reach out too, you know what I mean? So that's something I'm working through right now. What about you guys?
Yeah, quack.
That's a lot of introspection.
Jayla, every question.
Oh yeah, what type of friend am I? I'm down for whatever. Let's
I
go.
feel like I'm that friend too, but then it's like when you don't define whatever, you get stuck.
I'm not down for whatever.
Right.
I'm not trying to go to jail.
Right, and it's like, you know, are we robbing cars and we just getting dinner? What's going on? Like,
Yeah, I had to cut that out though, cause I'd be like, somebody would be like, "What you doing? Like, let's do something." I'd be like, "Okay, let's go." But then it's like, would they do the same thing for me, or the motives behind why you keep asking me? Cause you know I'm gonna do it, or is it cause you genuinely want to hang with me? Cause you know you get used if it's just like, oh, it's convenient for me to just text up, let's do this. But do you like really want to hang? Like,
I mean, for me, it's like, I like doing these dinner parties. One, because it's like, well, when I like cooking, so a nice little audience to eat my food, getting results. But then it's like, I like to bring everyone together. So like, one, we can have these conversations. I always feel like we have pretty good conversations when we all get together like this. And it's like, two, it's like, I feel like a lot of times I bring people together who would either A, never meet, or two, maybe don't meet as often as they like, or, you know, whatever the case might be. So for me, it's just like it just checks a lot of boxes, at least in particular with this kind of.
Being removed from college was like really hard for me because my whole life, friends were through school and programs and things related to that. So leaving that, it's like, oh, it takes away a huge structure, and it's like, okay, that now it requires a lot more on my part.
Yeah, especially because it's like, it's a proximity thing, at least for me, because it's like, oh, y'all niggas, y'all live on the south side. Like, you know, so it's like, I have to be very conscious about, like, you know, like timing and like, just like being, I guess, I don't know, better time management. Like, I feel like it's always more of an event if I'm, like, coming to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so then it's not, like, it can't be, like, a casual, like, oh, like, let's come over and watch a movie or something.
Right.
It's like,
But
it's
sometimes
like
that's the type of friend hangout that you want.
exactly, that's what I needed. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, shit, like, I gotta get an hour on the CTA or spend drop $15, $16 on an Uber.
Other questions was just.
They were good questions there. But
That was Google. Come up with your own. What does it mean to be a friend? What does it look like? Can you describe one of your closest friends? Why are y'all close? What is something a friend should never do?
Ooh, that one I wish we had answered.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Sit down. We back.
Take the book out.
Who's gonna?
I'm gonna write it down. Go ahead.
What should a friend never do?
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. I feel like it's so many things a friend should never do, but.
Wait, we gotta define a friend first. What is a friend?
A close friend.
Like what kind of, yeah.
A close acquaintance.
No, a close acquaintance is somebody you could probably just.
What's a close acquaintance?
Or sorry, an acquaintance. An acquaintance is somebody you probably could just, cut
Hey,
them
we in the
off.
same class.
Yeah,
Right.
and you study with them, but like,
it ain't.
but if they fuck you over once, it's like that's good. I'm good. I can go cold turkey over that.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of Instagram acquaintances.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Instagram makes you feel like you're
Yeah, but you not.
But a friend is somebody like it would hurt.
Okay.
to lose
Okay,
that
let's go with
friendship.
that. All right. So what should a person never do? That it would hurt.
spread your business.
Yeah.
That's like, public period.
Yeah.
The examples y'all gave, like, use
Yeah.
your
Some
vulnerabilities against
you.
Oh yeah,
That's
that shit that really ends friendships.
yeah. Cause now I ain't gonna trust you.
It's like I really like, and if you gonna have the balls say that to my face, and you have the balls say that to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like weaponizing your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like, that's so evil.
That's evil.
Like,
as
a
hell.
friend wouldn't do that. That's so
Because somebody who's your friend is not thinking of that in that moment.
Yeah.
That like thinking of something like that to hurt you
exactly. Like, it doesn't even cross your mind. Like, that's
Yeah.
not even something you think about to even say.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of shit.
Just
talking to my baby.
oh, your ass ugly.
No.
I'm just kidding. Like shit like
I hate
that.
when people
Yeah.
joke like that.
Yeah. Or yo, that shit kind of trash. Like if your friend fucks with them, like don't fuck with them. Like
It's too many things out here.
too many.
And it's like, my thing is, like, if you are gonna fuck with him, at least, like, be
Marry
serious about
him.
it. Yeah, like, if it becomes something serious, alright, shit. Like,
Yeah.
clearly, there was
I'm
something
not
going
trying
on.
to. It's not true love,
But honestly, by that time, I'm out your
I mean,
life.
Right. I think we gotta do something to even like get to that point. I don't
Wait,
know.
I said
see
it would
what you're
take too
saying.
long to get to that point.
Because you're saying like if your friend falls in love with like your ex, like if it's true love,
Go on
be
ahead.
happy.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, well, how did you even get there in the first
I know
place?
it's fucked up either way.
I don't know. I'm very intentional with like where I put my energy.
Oh, yeah,
And
'cause
it's very clearly like platonic or like so I would probably side eye and think maybe you were like.
I mean, we still wouldn't be best friends.
Yeah.
No, a friend entering the family is not. I don't think it's that bad. I honestly think it's like it's only because you're running the risk of something wrong happening. Like it's not that likely that they gonna get married and end up happily ever after. So if something go wrong, cool.
It's just like, damn.
You could lose your friend. Or,
You can lose your friend because I mean, if you lose your sibling, it's either y'all wasn't close to begin with or you trifling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stealing and lying.
What a friend shouldn't do.
Oh yeah.
Is that? I'm asking.
Wait, lying?
Oh,
it depends on the lie.
Like steal your money or steal
anything. Like you, like they sleep over and then your purse is gone.
Is that a friend?
Oh no.
I think we just
You don't steal from your friend, or you tell them, "I'm taking this girl."
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stealing my money. I think anybody steal money from you, they ass cut.
Bro,
But
I'm definitely thinking of ways to kill you.
Yeah. Honestly, I have had a family member steal from me, and that was forgivable over time.
Why?
Because it was family.
So.
Yeah. And we was kind of young.
Okay.
So they've changed a lot. But that was forgivable. But if it was a friend.